You're listening to Scheduling Sin with me, Snowmill.
Well, lifestyle-wise, I mean, what lifestyle experience have you felt was really good for you?
Learning to love myself, and
Yeah.
I can be that I have more confidence in myself.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
I love that answer because it's just...
Well, hello, Mrs. Snow.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. It's been a long couple weeks.
This is our first recording of 25.
Yay, 25.
Episode number 43.
Shit, 43.
I know.
That's crazy.
And we're still doing it.
Doing what?
Well, this.
Oh. So 43 episodes. So we started in end of 2003 or 23 or 24. When did we start this?
We started.
What's our year anniversary? When did our first episode premiere?
I think it's February of 24.
Okay. So we should do something big for our 1 year anniversary.
Oh, that's not right.
Not helpful.
No, that can't be right. It was actually, I think, February of 23 because February of 24, we went out to the UK.
Oh, you're right about that.
But
it wasn't February of 23. It must have been later in the year, wasn't it? I don't know. We have to look into this clearly.
It was in the spring of 2023.
Okay.
So we are coming up, I guess, on
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Almost 2.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
We're still standing.
We're still laying down with other people. So we have an amazing guest in our studio today.
We do. She took my spot.
She did. She totally took your spot. Of course, you took mine now, so I'm kind of in
I'm a little
odd
late to
spot.
the party, so I apologize.
So, but we got her here without adult supervision.
We did, and I'm surprised that some shenanigans hasn't already gone down.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we met this couple at our second social night that we had.
Okay, I said
We've started doing socials, and where this came from, we met a couple in the UK that were doing this, and it was a great way to just get like-minded people together.
Right. The idea was it was a smaller, less intimidating group, a little bit more casual.
Yeah, and it's easier to meet a group of people at once.
Right, as opposed to walking into a hotel party or walking into a club. Like it's really just a casual go to dinner, get some drinks. So there's really no pressure.
Yeah.
One way or the other. It's just a fun place to kind of meet people and we have learned that some of our socials have ended up in hotel rooms across the street from the bar.
There's been some economic and otherwise stimulation as a result of these socials.
You're welcome, community.
Well, we're going to do a little stimulating ourselves after the social tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think you gotta. This is a thing.
Tell me the thing.
We're going out to the social. We're gonna get a hotel, and the question you ask me is, should we get 2 beds or 1?
It's critical planning. See, it's critical planning. No, we have to talk about this. I'm glad you brought this up because we haven't had a chance to talk about this, and I feel like we should. So, the question about this is, how are we going to handle the room? Because we're going to the social, and we have a room at this hotel across the street.
From the bar, right? From where we're having,
Now, just being honest, we're not going to invite everyone from the social to come back.
So says sober Mr. Snow.
Whatever. That's kind of fair. So we're not going to invite everybody to come back.
Yeah.
So I think we have to come up with a wink nod invitation system. Like, I think you are allowed to invite people and I'm allowed to invite people, but this is where the 2 beds come in. Because, see, the question I have is, I already have some plans for this, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got some plans. But you...
Is it with our guest?
Maybe.
Is that why she agreed to be here?
You're letting the cat out of the bag. So...
Sorry.
You might make your own invitations.
I love how you say that, like, is going to happen. I think you say that because you're like, I already have some, so I hope you do too. You're on your own, bitch.
Well, it's only a little bit like that. So the room I ended up going with, though, is I ended up going with a king bed room, which is, it's got like a wet bar. So, and like
I bet it is going to be a wet bar.
Right, I know, right? I was wondering about that. So it's got like a wet bar and then like a seating area and a couch and some stuff. But there's only 1 king bed, though. So, but there's plenty of room on a king bed.
Okay.
How many people, when we had that orgy at the campground, how many people did we have on that? And was that even a king bed in that thing?
No, I think that was a queen.
I think there might have been.
There's no way there was a king bed in that camper. It had to have been a queen.
There were probably.
Well, there were. I'm trying to count how many tits were on the bed.
There's a lot of tits.
It's like this is swinger math.
It was a lot of tits. It was. I think there were.
It was 3 women and you, right?
I thought it was 4.
Well, I was on the side. I wasn't on the
so
bed.
you're not counting yourself. Okay. I think there were 4 women in the room, and there were.
Well, there were 3 men in the room and 4 women.
Yeah, that's a good number.
And you were engaged with all of the women, actually.
Right. So all this was true. So
this is the best night of my life.
It was. I tried to throw all the guys out, and they wouldn't go.
Yeah.
So,
but that wasn't. I guess for the point of this conversation, it wasn't a king size.
Let's bring it back.
Bring it back.
Let's bring it back. That's 7 people, and it wasn't a king bed. So I think we'll be all right.
So we can invite everybody for the social back to the hotel room.
Probably not everybody, but some of the people.
All right.
So anyway,
can we get like golden tickets that we can give people? Like, you know,
well, the thing about it is, and this is
have been invited back.
Well, this is a social dynamic that like we have to be careful about. Is, you know, and this is not just for us, but it's for anybody because there's other people getting a hotel room too. I think.
Yeah.
How do you go about inviting people back to the room without making it sort of awkward for the folks that you didn't invite? Like you have to do it kind of subtly, right? Because you don't want people to feel like.
I think that would be assuming that everybody that attends the social wants to come back to the hotel room with somebody. Some people just want to come to be social and meet people.
Right.
They don't necessarily have the agenda to fuck.
I don't know who that person is, but there might be some people who do have the agenda to fuck, and it just doesn't work out.
Like, I don't want to fuck you, but I'll fuck you. Right. You don't want to be that blatant about it.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to make people feel left out. So, like,
because I don't get to fuck you.
First of all,
I'm asking for a friend.
You're such an asshole. This doesn't have to just be about me. It could be about you too. Like, whatever.
Clarification.
This conversation is going nowhere.
You started it.
Okay, so we're just going to do the golden ticket thing, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
do we have to confirm?
And sing like Willy Wonka.
I've got to go the ticket. So do I have to confer with you when I give out my golden ticket?
I mean, no, but it'd be cool if you would let me know. Like, I presume I will know. You're usually not subtle.
No, it's not really not my thing. But I don't have to get your permission though. Like,
well, no,
it's free. I'm free to give it to whomever I want.
Of course, you're an adult.
Do I only get 1 golden ticket, or can I get more than one?
Jesus, how many golden tickets does a woman need? Probably at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I'm just saying. Just asking for a friend.
All right, so we still have work to do on this, but we need to invite and introduce our guest, who is patiently waiting through our bullshit. Her name is Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Hello.
We met her and her husband at one of these social nonsense parties that we had.
There was not a hotel issue at that point.
There were no golden tickets on that particular
There
night.
were not.
But we did end up at a dive bar afterwards.
We did.
So,
well, let me ask you this. Do you want to, like, how would you feel at a social? Do you want a golden ticket? Like, how do you want to be invited back to a hotel room?
Prepare to take notes.
Is that what you're doing?
She's like, what the fuck's happening? I don't even know.
Is it a secret handshake thing?
I don't know. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about not wanting to make someone feel left out.
You're right.
But I think the golden ticket's a pretty cool idea.
We're going to be printing tickets later.
We're going to print tickets with big golden cocks on them.
Take that shit to Staples.
Yeah.
Can I get this shit laminated?
Can I get it laminated? 100% it needs to be laminated.
Reusable.
Reusable, yeah. We want to make sure it's got like the antibacterial coating on it.
Will this stand up to bleach wipes?
Yeah. Okay. All valid questions.
So, Lynn, tell us about you. Tell us about your background and how you got into lifestyle.
And if you regret your life decisions in coming on our podcast.
100%. Look at her. Like she's like a deer in the headlights. She's desperately looking at her phone. Someone's calling her right now.
She's got to go.
Our lifestyle adventure started by me asking my significant other if he had fantasies I did not know about.
Oh.
Okay. And when he told you about the donkeys, how did you feel about that?
I was a little floored at first, not going to lie.
I can appreciate that.
No, really. So what did he say?
What did he say? I don't actually really remember exact. I mean, it's been a year and a half-ish, so kind of, I know when I got the message or, we talked about it, I wasn't sure how soon I wanted to proceed to home that night. Mm-hmm. I was nervous.
Yeah.
For sure.
When you say that, I didn't know if I wanted to go home right away. What were you nervous was going to happen?
I guess just making sure that we were both being 100% honest and on the same page with each other.
Yeah.
After being...
No, when you say that night, let me interrupt you for just a minute. Do you mean the night that he told you he wanted to have a threesome or the night that you guys were actually going to do it?
No, just telling me.
Just telling. Okay.
Well, how long have you guys been married?
30 years.
Okay. And so in the 30-year time frame, this was never kind of discussed or anything. And so this just kind of...
No, kind of came out of nowhere.
This just came out of nowhere. I mean, I can't how terrifying and exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Both at the same time, for sure.
Because obviously when you build a life with somebody after 30 years and then you kind of open up this new chapter, it kind of makes you kind of think about risk and you don't want to you have 30 years of life with this person, right? Yeah. You have children, you have a family, you have all of these things, right? And this is and I imagine within those 30 years you have just stability. Right? I mean, you're stable, you're comfortable, you're all of these things. And then you open up this can and it's it's a whole new, and I think, and we talk about this, we've had a very strong relationship. We've been together for a really long time too, not 30 years, but even so, opening up this can make it seem as stable as you thought your relationship was, that there's this risk of, is it gonna survive this? If that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but when your spouse says to you, "Do you have any fantasies that I don't know about?" I think you told me once that he didn't say anything for a while.
No.
And
well, because even after 30 years, right? You're still nervous about sharing this with your person, right?
And I totally get that because, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, well, I do, but should I tell her? Right? Because she might have been thinking anal and I'm like, let's have a threesome and start fucking other people. There's like a range.
I'm going to tell you right now,
there is.
No woman is thinking anal.
No, probably not.
Well, maybe no woman is. But the
expectation of what you're going to let's come home with this fun toy, right? As opposed to another person.
But it takes a lot of courage though to tell your partner something about you sexually.
Yeah, there was about a week of radio silence.
Yeah. After you guys had that conversation that you guys didn't talk about anymore?
No, just after I asked if he had any fantasies that I wasn't aware of. There was a week of radio silence before it all came about.
Oh, I see. So he clearly was kind of wrestling with it, probably.
Well, wrestling on how to put it.
Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I want to tell her.
So when he told you, did he seem nervous about it? I mean, was he nervous to tell you?
I mean, this is the person that you've known for 30 years. Clearly, you could read his mind better.
But you say that, but the truth is, when I told you I was bi, I was very nervous about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
Because I don't know how you're going to react to that. Are you going to be turned off? Are you going to be upset? Or I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually a face-to-face conversation.
Oh, it was a text.
It was a text.
Yeah.
But it was a text that was long enough that... No, I didn't even know. I was at work at the time, just got the message 5 minutes before I was leaving.
I want to have a threesome.
And there's this big long text that comes through and it's like a book. I mean, okay, I don't know any man that's really proficient as to how fast he can type or how many times he deletes it and types it again. So this was like a novel. I mean, in all retrospect to any other text.
Was he kind of backtracking even in telling you?
I don't.
Maybe you're interested, but I don't know if it's okay if you're not.
I have to probably really look it up and get back to you on that note. Really, I mean.
So you're sitting there in that moment, and you get this book text, and you sit there and you read it. What was that like?
Frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Yeah. What about, I mean, you asked the question.
I did.
What about it?
Wholeheartedly, I did. Probably the first and most honest thing.
Yeah.
Am I really not enough for this man after 30 years?
100%. Yep. I totally understand that. And I mean, I think that's a very...
And that's 30 years of marriage. We've been together for 35 years.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that's so humanistic and understandable and relatable. You know, when and I remember I can think back of some of the conversations that we've had over the years and the idea of having more people and playing with other people. I think that thought of, am I not enough for you? I mean, 100% I can relate to that. Yeah.
That is actually a feeling that I can relate to sometimes even now as part of the whole lifestyle journey for us, because there are times when, especially when I feel like when I find you attracted to someone that may not look like me.
Yeah.
There's that element of, ooh, I can't give her that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or I don't look like that. Or
right. Yeah. I don't look like that. And she's attracted to that. And then, yeah, I mean, that feeling, I think for me still hasn't completely gone away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's probably common for male and female. If you really ask someone and get them to answer you, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. Oh, 100% agree.
So, okay. So you get this text message, you have this initial reaction to it. Then what?
I went home. I waited. I mean, I didn't like walk in and like start hounding what's going on.
Yeah.
I just remember it was a whole evening of conversation that I never would have imagined would have ever come out.
So that conversation, that evening of conversation, is probably one of our most asked questions by people adjacent to the lifestyle. The question is always, from men, it comes in the form of, how do I get my wife to do this?
Right.
Which is our least favorite way of asking the question. But we get the question like, how do I start the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how the conversation started with you guys. What was that night like? You know, when you guys are having that talk that night, what was that conversation like?
I guess a lot of reassurance on his end, of course. Like I said, my first thought is, am I not enough?
Right.
He repeatedly, assured me that that's not what was going on.
Right.
And to give me, I'm not a big researcher on things. So he just, here, check into this, and this, and we can discuss this when you're ready to discuss it further.
Okay. So he had resources kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing. What were those resources? Like, what kind of things did he point you to?
I mean, Googled some stuff.
Was it like swinger sites or articles or like
articles?
Okay.
That's so cerebral.
It is. It's a very scientific way.
But honestly, I mean, you got to know your person, right? And like, I feel like you're similar to that. Like, when you learn about anything, you research it. You kind of engross yourself in learning about all the pieces to it, right? So that makes sense.
And I think that was what was going on in the week of radio silence.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
He was getting his marching orders together.
Yeah.
He's getting his little paper together.
Okay, so he gives you homework, which baller move. And you go away and do your homework and come back. And now what? Like, after looking at these things and talking, I mean, were you like all on board with the idea, or where were you at with it?
I'm like, well, the next step would be you go further with it and come back to me.
In other words, go out there and maybe find someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have feelings about wanting to be part of the finding someone or no?
I want a final say,
but
I don't have time to sit and do all that. And
I think that's such a woman thing.
For whatever reason, and I guess maybe I'm the one that asked the question, but he's the one that proposed the situation.
Right.
Then you do that part of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've done my homework. It's time for you to do yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he goes away and by now he's been given the golden ticket, right? Like he immediately, he drops everything.
This is the golden ticket
does
episode.
No chores at all that night and runs to the computer. like breaking things on the way.
Maybe.
And starts feverishly typing away on the internet. How long was it before he said, "Hey, I found somebody that we should meet"?
Probably a few days, week, maybe 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
It doesn't, I mean.
So then what? So he finds this person, and what do? Do you go to dinner? What do you do?
Yeah, we went to dinner to meet.
Is this a single male or a couple?
A couple.
Okay.
Oh, a couple.
Okay.
So, but it started out in talking about a threesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going with a couple.
And the thought of just same room, or I mean, did you guys have rules? Did you guys like kind of prepare yourself if this is what we're looking for? Because I feel like what you think about and then where you end up is usually
two different stories.
Places.
Absolutely. Yeah. Same room for sure. Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Kissing was a question at first.
Yep.
Something
His question or your question?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I find it something that probably goes to the wayside pretty quickly with most people.
Yeah.
From things I've read. I mean, different, you see on comments of people asking questions and whatever.
The no kissing rule we have found is very, very common.
It is very common.
For people new
especially
to the lifestyle.
kind of new to the lifestyle. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. And I think people see it as just a hair too intimate.
Right.
So you go to dinner with this couple, and what were they like? Were they experienced, new? What was that like?
They were definitely experienced, which then puts a little extra nerves on the whole situation.
But they knew that you guys were
They did. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did it go?
Good. Good. I mean, there were good vibes all the way around.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you guys know just from experience that it's hard enough to find one person to connect with, let alone getting 4 people to connect.
Right.
Now, were you guys lucky enough to find that on your first trip?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's
good.
Huge. That's huge. And it is so hard to find that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've had situations where we've met couples where, it's a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean thumbs down in a nasty way, but it's just not a match.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So did you guys end up playing that night? Oh, we're laughing.
Yeah.
So how was it?
Strange, great, weird, crazy. I mean, all of the above.
Yeah.
What kind of adjectives could you find? Yeah. But I think the most interesting part about the night was back home.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of the after.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. In that you felt like when you say the after part, like just the connection between the two of you, that you kind of like were able to kind of feed off of that like energy and that
absolutely
excitement.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
That's like fire.
It is.
Yeah. It's really hot. Mm-hmm.
So, you guys so you have this conversation. It's all new. You're both getting your feet wet with it. You find somebody, you go out, and then you have a great time. You come back.
I'm funny. He doesn't.
He's trying to ignore it.
No. Sorry.
Impossible. You're impossible.
Okay.
So I guess what I'm getting at is, the next morning when you meet at the breakfast table, what's the conversation like?
I don't remember that one in particular.
Yeah. I mean, was it like a holy shit, I can't believe we did that? Was it like,
absolutely, I'm sure.
Each other, like,
yeah. But that connection between the two of us was for like days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. You could live off that for a while.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. Like, I think when people kind of have an experience and it's a positive experience, I feel like there's kind of these two parts of it. Like, you kind of live off of it for like a good chunk of time, but then there's a part of it that turns into, oh, I want to do that again. Like, right. I mean, like it kind of, you know what I mean? So it kind of feeds it.
I learned a lot. Like the first time we had a full couple swap, it's interesting now because looking back on it, there was a lot that I didn't really understand about how to do that. Because the first time we ever did it, I mean, the first time anybody has a foursome, it's their first time doing it. And there are dynamics there. You know, what I was guilty of, and this is, I try to warn people about this, is the first time we played with another couple, I had this idea that when four people play together, you just, you know, it's like you just go back and forth. Like it's kind of a free-for-all type thing. And a lot of people don't view it that way. They view it as like we swap or whatever. But then like you're having complete individual experiences with that person nearby the other people, you know? And I think I was so overwhelmed with the excitement of the whole thing that I was not a great partner for the person that I was with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because you were more excited about watching me play.
It's not that I was more excited about it, but it was also, I was very distracted by it.
Yeah.
And so like I was not focusing, if I will put it that way. Like I was not focusing on my partner as well as I should have been at that time, just because I was so freaking blown away by what was going on.
So many boobs.
So many boobs. It's amazing. Amazing. But I'm curious, as you got into it, was it similar to what you thought it would be? Was it different? Like, how did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, how did it meet your expectation and not meet your expectations?
I guess to put that in perspective is oddly met my expectations, that maybe it was something I've always needed or wanted.
Really?
But was never, I guess, never let it come to the forefront of anything. Because
what about it?
Because let's be honest here. Society doesn't teach us that this is like okay. This is not how.
It was a fantasy that you didn't realize that you maybe had, or that.
Yeah. Because we're not brought up that way.
Oh, sure.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes sense.
I think a lot of people battle with this idea of like, well, isn't that bad? You know, or should I do that? One of the really common questions you get from vanilla folks is, well, are you really okay with your spouse doing that? And it just goes to the fact that people just don't understand it. And
they don't see it as a we thing or a you couple event. Like both of you are engaging in it. They see it as an individual event.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And so when people view it as an individual event, I can understand, yes, why would you let your spouse do that? But it's not, it's we.
It's we.
Yeah. We are doing it.
Yeah.
We are doing this together.
Right. And I think Mrs. Snow, I think you would say that you got a completely unexpected confidence boost out of the lifestyle.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think when I first got I didn't, and maybe you can relate to this, I don't know, Lynn, but I never viewed myself as this attractive, desirable woman. I mean, outside of my marriage, right? Like, obviously my husband loves me. I love my husband. We're together. We're very comfortable. We're safe. We've been together forever.
Yes.
So the idea of being desired by other people was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like that. Who wants that?
Yes.
And so I think just kind of engaging in the lifestyle and engaging in conversations specifically about physicality, and because everyone has their body issues, and I'm not a tiny person, right? Like, and I have flaws and all the like rolls and cellulite and all the things. And so I think that was kind of it was a weird thing to think that actually existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like people want me. Like people look at me and they think I'm hot and they want to fuck me. Like what? Like it just was kind of like bizarre.
Yeah. And it's, I think that's something that it doesn't fully go away. Right. I mean, even now, after a year and a half, it's just like, really?
Right.
He really wants to talk to me?
Right.
Really?
He really wants to have, like, do dirty things to me? Like, you're really, like, wanting to rub on me? Like, Mr. Snow's getting so excited right now because I'm talking. But you know what I mean? But I think as a woman, right?
Yes.
Like, I think it is a woman that obviously you were in a marriage for many years, and we've been in a very monogamous relationship up until obviously recently. But, like, that whole, like, that just was such a foreign concept.
Yeah.
And I wasn't seeking, I didn't know that existed. Like there may have been men that have thought I was attractive over the years, but it didn't cross my radar because I wasn't interested or looking or thinking that was even a possibility.
Well, right. I always found it annoying when I would say to you, you're hot, or I would give you some compliment, and then you would look at me and be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you have to think that.
And
you married me.
I was always annoyed by that because I always felt like you don't get it. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I'm your husband and whatever, but like what I'm saying is also true.
Yeah. So that was kind of one of the things about the lifestyle that I didn't expect to be the case. I mean, it was definitely a positive consequence, if you will, but like that was kind of surprising to me. And now it definitely feeds the excitement of it. You know, it's like now, like when you have that confidence, which you may be able to relate to as well, like you're more likely to kind of strut a little bit or show your ass or, wiggle the boobies.
Let's wear a little bit more revealing.
Yeah, because you feel much more comfortable and confident in doing it. Like you don't think like people are like, ugh, gross, that lady needs to cover herself. Like, no.
Well, but this is something that I think a lot of women, I wish more women felt this way.
Yeah, I agree.
And what I have come to appreciate is that a confident woman is fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if she would fit in Sports Illustrated swimsuit or not. Like a woman who feels good about herself.
Yeah.
Not necessarily cocky or showy or anything else, but a woman that feels good about herself.
Secure. Yeah.
Is so attractive.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to see a woman feel good about herself and because when you get that, you get that ability to flirt confidently. You get that ability to play.
Well, but I think, but it's also like be able to tell people what you want. Like I find it. I mean, if I really stop and think about it, you're right. It's sad that women don't feel this way. Like, and I don't know like if you have any experience in this, Lynn, but like it took this for me to have that experience in my life, like sexually, physically, to be that comfortable and that confident. And so I think you're right. It is a shame that more women not engaged in the lifestyle, like just physically, like to be confident in themselves and in what they want and being able to express themselves and like sexually, physically, whatever. I mean, we can get on a soapbox about society and women and all that stuff, right? We're going to avoid the conversation today, but I think it plays into it, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if we're as encouraged, especially sexually,
right,
to be able to ask for what it is that we want.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So do you feel like there's some like, do you feel similarly in that way or?
Yeah. There's definitely, I mean, from day one to now, there's definitely that. There's way more confidence in myself and in several aspects of just feeling good about myself or sexually or anything.
Right. And it's a liberating feeling. Like it's you're right. I wish other women could feel that way in other ways, but that is one part of the lifestyle. And I know like early on, I would say to you, like, I could take it or leave it. If we never do it again, I don't care. Like, at first, but now like, if I really stop and think about what have I gained from the lifestyle other than having a lots of amazing good sex, right? Like outside of the sexual piece. But when you think about like yourself as a person and your confidence and your ability to express yourself and tell people what you want and ask for what you want, like that's a pretty big thing.
So Lynn, how has your lifestyle journey evolved? Where you started out with that couple and so on, where have you gone from there? Are you exploring solo play? Are you starting to...
I mean, you guys started as playing as a couple.
Yes.
And now your hubby...
Currently moving into
some solo
looking
stuff.
for some solo stuff, yes.
How do you feel about that?
Exciting. It's exciting.
I'm excited.
So your husband is going on a date tonight.
Yes.
A second date.
Yes.
Have you met her?
No.
Oh, okay. Is that something that you'd want? Like...
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to meet her. I'd like to meet her.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if you guys had rules about like before.
I would like to meet her. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is the second date potential play time? I don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this woman is not a lifestyler. So they did not meet in that context, right?
No, they did not.
So So that's an interesting dynamic.
Yes, for sure.
So he's going on a second date tonight.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm excited for him.
Are you?
Yeah.
What a good wife.
I'm very excited for him
Yeah.
to go.
How's he feeling about it?
I think he's excited. I know he's excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the thought that it's just going to be with him or potentially all three of you or?
At this point, I'm assuming just him at this point.
Okay. And so you're interested in doing some solo stuff. What would you like that to look like?
Look like?
Tall,
dark, handsome. Really big buck.
I don't know. I don't know, because again, still just that.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord, that.
Yeah.
Will it even really happen?
Right.
So you were telling me before we started that if you're going to do solo play, you want to find the person.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So are you guys doing like separate accounts on various things and you're trying to find somebody? Like, how are you doing that?
Right now, just, I have an account on just a dating app.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Are you swiping right?
How, I mean, on a dating app, are you saying like, I'm a swinger, I'm looking for, like, how are you posing that?
I have it listed as open relationship.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And open to exploring is
Okay.
how I have it listed.
And you're looking for a male?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think the men that are responding, do you think they understand that it is a sexual thing? Do they think you're looking for a boyfriend? What's the response been like?
I think the response has been both ways.
Okay.
And the ones that I, just been completely honest with, look, I am married. This is what I'm looking for.
Right.
Then the whole conversation is gone, which is completely fine.
Oh, really?
Oh, so they are not interested in that.
Yeah, because this particular conversation, it said, when I say that, it said open to exploring.
Yeah.
But when I laid it all out there, I'm married, blah, 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 the conversation was deleted.
Really?
And not by me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can take that a couple different ways, I suppose.
But, maybe you get the impression on the dating app that that's a person who is looking for a relationship.
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or doesn't want caught cheating.
Well, that's a possibility.
Oh, sure.
Have you thought about setting up a profile on swinger sites like SLS or Swinger Zone Central or any of those?
I hadn't.
All right, that's what I'm going to be doing during the break.
Pause everything.
Can you take my picture? I need a new profile picture.
I can take all the profile pictures.
Yeah, I bet he
I'm
will.
very helpful with that.
Are you? Okay. I have good profile pictures.
I know.
He's very well aware of your profile pictures.
I'm aware.
I change them randomly just to see if you notice.
I know. I'm like, ooh, what's this one? I absolutely notice.
Yeah.
So have you had many single guys approach you?
A few.
Mm-hmm.
Any good approaches?
Yeah, has there been any really
Have there been any fun ones?
crazy approaches? How many dick pics have you gotten?
A couple. Yeah. Even without just, it's one thing for somebody to ask and you just say yes.
Sure. Yeah. If I ask you,
really,
for one,
I don't need you to throw dick pics at me without being asked.
Unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How critical to you is a dick pic?
Not.
Like at all? Like you don't ever need to see it?
No, it's not something that really has to be done. No.
Okay.
I have to have a dick pic, but it has to be not in the bathroom.
Yeah, we have a rule that if we see any part of a toilet, you're done.
You're out.
I've never understood what it is about guys who they're sitting there and I presume they're taking a dump and they're like, I'm going to take a picture of my dick now.
It's like, come on, right? Like,
why? Why are we doing this here? I mean, they're literally sitting on the toilet and they're like, okay, look at that guy. I just don't understand how that makes any sense. What's interesting is when it comes to pictures now, I actually look at the backgrounds more than I look at the person in them.
This is the difference between a non-experienced swinger and an experienced
100%. Because I think you can kind of tell a lot about a person by the pictures they send you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sure.
You know,
and if they're from far away and they're really fucking blurry, I'm like, come on, man. Like
that, or, you know, I've seen pictures where like the person is, you know, they're a perfectly nice looking person, but they are standing in just a pit of a room. You know, there's trash everywhere. Yes. It's a total disaster. And I'm thinking, no, we're not going to get along.
Yeah.
You know, that's my biggest advice to people when I tell them about like profile pictures and stuff is pay attention to not just your dick, but like the rest of the situation. And it's amazing how many really bad profile pics are out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've seen a few bad ones that are, you know, just like you're saying, it's like, what were you even thinking? Right. I mean, regardless of wanting to show your junk to somebody, you just showed the rest of your junk and it's not very attractive.
Right.
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 No, absolutely.
I don't need to see your Taco Bell boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The big gordita crunches.
You know, yo quiero no fucking way. So, okay. So what do you look for then? What are you swiping right on or swipe left? Which way do you got to swipe?
I think it's right, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not on dating apps.
So what are you looking for?
If not unsolicited dick pics.
You know, I guess my biggest thing is to, and maybe this is, you know, I've started looking, you know, obviously I'm going to read someone's profile.
Right.
Check pictures.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Who doesn't want someone who you are physically at least genuinely attracted to?
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that doesn't make you shallow at all. That's
pictures are, I mean, where it starts, I guess. And then I just find it necessary to I'm not going to be swiping on anyone who's strictly just says, you know, monogamy. That's just going to get someone in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to try and
looking for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that just puts you in a bad situation.
Right.
So maybe being on a dating app is not the right thing, and it needs to be on.
Well, I
think there's a difference in the population that you're looking at, right?
Oh yeah,
I think
absolutely.
The idea there's probably more people on a swinger site that understand those dynamics and what you're looking for more so.
Yes.
Because I'm sure. I mean, I have girlfriends that are on dating sites, right? And they're not in the lifestyle; they're very vanilla, and I think they always joke about like, well, I see this guy saying he wants to hook up, but he's in or ethically non-monogamous, or he's poly, but does his wife know that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more suspicion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think on dating apps. I mean, maybe more so for women, but yeah.
Well, and you also have the fact that there's half the audience at least is actually looking for a relationship.
Right.
So like half the audience right out of the gate
not
eligible.
Yeah.
You know, the nice thing about the swinger sites, at least everybody's here for the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, that might be helpful, but you know, I don't know. There's plenty of duds on swinger sites.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we get some of the wildest messages from single men. They are, I mean, I will admit they're pretty entertaining. Like, I'm not offended. I'm not offended by any of them. Like, I think they're all hilarious.
They're good. They're good podcast.
Oh, I mean, the one that messaged and is like, she fertile, like, not even a question.
Wasn't even a question.
Not even a full sentence. Just she fertile.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, what do we do with that? Yeah, totally.
Come on over, impregnate my wife.
Impregnate my wife. Because that's a good plan.
Gross.
Yeah, it is hard, and that honestly, that kind of goes back to the whole socials thing. Is all of these sites, these apps, the whatever, they are so difficult because you're just wading through people you're not a match with. And
there's a lot of trash out there.
There's a lot. And at least with the socials, you get a chance to meet people in a much more human environment. I think meeting people on these dating sites and apps and all this stuff it's very difficult for me to get any kind of a connection going with anybody.
But I think them being willing to come to a social, that in and of itself, I think means that they're a little bit more invested in wanting to get to know somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least on some level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're going out with potentially not the expectation that they're going to do anything or play.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in and of itself says like, okay, at least there's some common thread there.
Yes. I found it very more relaxed situation than the whole, messaging and trying to whatever.
Well, then just meeting with them individually.
Yeah.
Because then there's that whole unspoken pressure.
Yes.
Like, especially we talk about scheduling sin, right? That's really what we do, right? And it's like, this is the first night and the only night in the next 6 weeks that we're going to have a sitter.
Right. And like, now it's just...
And we don't like you, but we're going to make it work because we're horny, right?
Oh
like
my gosh. We've been down that road once or twice.
Right. It's like, well, we have to make it happen because when are we going to do it?
Right? Too, because it's like, well, when are we going to be back here again? Yeah, no, that sucks because honestly, it just leads to bad experiences.
Right.
So what works on you? Like, what is the most effective?
He wants to know what moves to put on you.
Line.
He wants the cheat sheet.
Would you stop it with the calling me out? It's obvious enough.
You want the keys to the castle?
What gets your attention?
It's besides just physically being attracted to someone.
Yeah.
Someone's personality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you make me laugh?
Sure.
Are you interesting? Do we enjoy any of the same things?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do we have anything in common?
Yep.
And sometimes it's the strangest things you find you have in common.
Right.
Because I don't know. I mean, yes, obviously, sex is the thing here, but I'm not opposed to if we don't match compatibly that way, can we still just be friends?
Right.
Did I just make a friend out of something that
a like-minded person?
A like-minded person that we could still just have that open conversation about something that we have in common, even though we're not going to connect that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself requiring a connection with a person in order to enjoy a sexual connection with a person?
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah.
I always joke with people, the way I like to say it is back when I was in high school, I could have fucked a screen door.
So hot, let me tell you.
But I found out that as I've gotten older, that some woman saying, yeah, let's go, that doesn't do it for me anymore. That's not enough. I've got to have some kind of a spark with that person. And I've been down this road where I've been in a situation where a person was like, hey, let's go. And that spark wasn't there. And it turned out really bad.
Right.
Like it ended up being a really bad situation. Not like
because you went along with it,
but just really awkward and uncomfortable, and it ended up being very bad. If I had known then to say, I'm just really not feeling it right now, then that whole experience would have been so much better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just didn't have that wherewithal at the time. And at the time I kind of felt like I could go with anything. I could go along with anything. And I have found that for me is just not the case. And that's definitely not true for a lot of guys. A lot of guys have no problem. But it doesn't work like that for me. But it is funny how part of this whole lifestyle is you learn a lot about yourself. I have learned a ton about myself. And I've also learned a lot about how I treat other people. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people about, things that were good, things that maybe not have been not so good. And I didn't know, but
I think when you're in a relationship and you're in a kind of a monogamous relationship for X amount of years and you haven't had sex with anybody else, it's understandable that you're not going to know how to do certain things, or you're not going to think about it the same way because you've had sex with the same person and you guys have just gotten your own rhythm and you know what you like and what you don't, and the other person knows. And right. So when you're having sex with a new partner, there's kind of a learning curve to some degree,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's been your best experience?
Sitting on this podcast. Oh, sorry. No.
Like what's gone really well for you?
On any aspect?
Well, lifestyle wise. I mean, what lifestyle experience have you felt was really good for you?
Learning to love myself. And I can be, that I have more confidence in myself.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
I love that answer because it's just, I think it just really just reiterates this whole sex is what brings you into the lifestyle, but it's not what keeps you.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Like it's like a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you have to have, I mean, in my opinion, I have to have that confidence in myself before I can even really, truly understand and accept that someone else really sees me that way.
Right.
Other than my significant other.
Right.
Or would, even thinks about looking at me that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I totally get that.
There's been something, there's something else that I've done within this time frame that put a huge confidence boost in myself. And that was something I could check off of a bucket list I had, and that was doing a boudoir photo shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
I made it happen. And that was one of the best things I've done last year.
Yeah.
So good. I did it twice.
It was, and I've seen those and they are amazing.
They're awesome. Yeah. But do you think like you from 5 years ago would ever entertain that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I just think that that's amazing.
No.
Because they are beautiful pictures. They're
Thank you.
Stunning. And I think Mr. Snow has looked at them numerous times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, but I think but again, I just think to myself, like, more women should be able to embrace their bodies and just to celebrate their bodies. Like, aside from lifestyle stuff. Like,
right. Yeah.
I wish every woman had that experience.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's such an amazing, like, empowering.
It is.
Awesome experience, feeling all the things.
It is. It was. And, a great friendship out of it. The photographer has become a just a dear friend that, we just chit chat whenever. It's not about, hey, are we doing another session? Oh, not in a while. Got to pay those two off. But yeah, it's been a good thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
really
awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming and sharing your story with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We are going to have to work on getting our golden tickets printed out for tomorrow. I see now I'm going to have to go down to Staples and make a very awkward laminating run. I'll do that for you. That's how good I am. I will do
You're
that
such
for
a
you
good
too.
man. You're such a good man.
I know.
For you, I know it's just so much to ask for you to put in beautiful laminated golden tickets for you to give to women, for you to go fuck at a hotel.
Well,
that's just awful.
Let's be real.
I can't. That's just. I can't.
No.
God love you. The sacrifices you make.
Well, thank you for saying that. I do make a lot of sacrifices. No, fuck you. As for a fact, you're the one handing out golden tickets.
Whatever. He's gonna have one tomorrow night. Don't you worry.
That would be pretty funny. All right, we'll have to see what we can do.
We'll have to our next episode we'll have to talk about our social and our golden ticket experience. So there you go.
I wonder if I can get a license to use the Willy Wonka song.
That's like the Oompa Loompa song?
Oh, no, the ticket song.
Oh, the ticket song.
The Oompa song. Why would we need the Oompa song? I'm just picturing a bunch of weird looking dwarfs coming in to bang you. Like, it's the weirdest gangbang.
First of all, I don't, that's not my fantasy. So,
well, I would hope not, but this is a very open show.
Yeah, we don't kink shame, but
no, we don't. We do laugh a little.
We do laugh a little. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, this is our parting thought for the day.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this is public service announcement. We're very important. Those are very important to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Have to keep our audience safe. I read an article recently about a person who when was the last time you wore a butt plug around town? Come on, Lynn. Come on.
What?
When was the last time you wore a butt plug around
these are
town?
the questions that we ask our guests. When's the last time you wore a butt plug around town? Who the fuck? No one wears butt plugs around town.
I want everyone to know that you can't see it, but Lynn is currently looking at her calendar.
Oh, you're funny.
Okay, so it was recently, but this person went to get a what is it with the big round thing, the MRI? Is that what it is? Or a CAT scan? Which is it?
Which is the magnet? Well, the magnetic is the MRI.
Yeah. So they went to get an MRI.
Because the M starts for magnetic, right? That sounds right.
Yeah. Magnetic resonance imaging, I think. So anyway.
We're smart here on the show.
This person goes in to get an MRI and it's all going fine. And they're in there. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this butt plug comes ripping up through their body and lodges itself in the mid part of their body. Okay. Because unbeknownst to this person, this butt plug had a metal core and they didn't know it. They just thought it was a silicone butt plug. Everything's fine. And they're just running around town with a butt plug in and getting MRIs.
Listen, I have questions.
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily care if you're running around town with a butt plug. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I would think, like, when I go to the grocery store, okay, whatever. When I go, like, to Target or when I go, like, you know, whatever the errands I'm running, okay, that's fine. But I would think when I'm going for a medical procedure or test, I would take it out.
I think a lot of people would, but I think that
it's like you take your earrings out, right? It's kind of the same.
I think just the PSA for the show, the more you know, is
just because you think it's silicone, there might be a metal core in there.
Don't wear your butt plug to MRI.
There you go. See,
I saw an X-ray too. Like you can't see it, but I might put it in the show notes. The article had this X-ray of it, and it was like all the way up in there,
like in their intestines.
It was like in the lungs area. Like
what?
This thing got a hold of it. Yeah, just sucked it
your
right
intestines
in.
don't go to your lungs.
Well, I don't know. It
goes to your stomach.
But I think it was going like I don't know where it went. Well, I'm just telling you where it was is not where it's supposed to be. Flange and all, like no flange was stopping this. This was happening to this person. So.
We care about our audience.
We do. We want you to be safe, listeners, and especially when you're getting your medical procedures. Now, I think if you wore it to a dentist, I think you'd be fine. I think you could still wear it to the dentist.
If you are a dentist, if you could give us a call or shoot us an email and come on our show and tell us about the sex toys that are appropriate for dentistry, let us know.
Yeah.
So be sure to email us at snowmilf@yahoo.com if you are one that likes to just wear a butt plug around. We want to kind of hear from you.
Tell us your butt plug stories.
And tell us your butt plug stories. Hashtag butt plug stories.
Oh. So many plans. Okay. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We want to hear from you. Email us at snowmilf@yahoo.com. That's SNOMILF@yahoo.com. You can also join us on our Discord and have some fun interactive conversations with us. The link is in the show notes. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Good talk.
Good talk. I wonder, do you ever think about as you're walking through a crowd of people, like you wonder how many of them have butt plugs in?
No. Do you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Just since you've read the article?
Well, more so since I've read the article. Well. Yeah. Hey, we need to have that girl that comes to our socials who's a nurse come on.
Oh, we do.
Because she's got some stories.
She's got some stories. She was saying that there are a lot of times that, and she works in the ER, and she was talking about, and I think every ER has a notebook of X-ray pictures of things that have been in people's asses. 100%. Like, yeah, we need her on the show. That'd be fun.
I think that would be fun.
Like, we'll just do like a top 5.
We could do ER in the butt bingo.
Okay.
This is brilliant.
With golden tickets.
With golden tickets. This is going to be our next game at the next social.
It might be.
Bingo card of where things have been found in people's asses.
We should get with her because that would be fun.
That would be fun.
It's too late for tomorrow, but I don't
know if they're coming tomorrow, but if they're there, we're going to ask.
February?
Yeah, 100%. Well, for Valentine's Day, right? Like it just makes sense.
Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, making sense.